If someone had told me that at 77 years old I'd spend 2 months in a nursing home, I would have laughed. Not because I thought I was invincible, but because I never imagined it would happen this soon. I always believed I had more time before I'd need a place like that. But life has a funny way of surprising us, forcing us to face realities we'd rather not think about. At first, I told myself it was temporary, just a short stay to rest and recover, nothing more. But those 2 months turned out to be one of the most eye-opening experiences of my life. They changed the way I see aging, time, and what truly matters. Inside those walls, I met people who had been there for years, some still surrounded by love, others completely forgotten. I saw faces that lit up with joy when family visited, and others that remained blank, their eyes tired from waiting for someone who never came. It made me wonder, how does this happen? How do people, once so full of life, end up feeling abandoned, filled with regrets? And more importantly, could it happen to me? Could it happen to you? The truth is, life doesn't wait for us to figure things out. We're all moving forward, whether we realize it or not. And if we don't pay attention to the lessons life is constantly trying to teach us, we might wake up one day wondering where all the time went. So today, I want to share 7 powerful lessons I learned, lessons I believe everyone needs to hear. Because no matter how young you are right now, one day you'll be older. And when that time comes, will you look back with peace or with regret? Let's talk about it. The first and most painful lesson I learned is that loneliness is the worst disease of old age. You might think that a nursing home is just a place for medical care, where the biggest concern is physical health. But the truth is, the real struggle isn't the body. It's the heart. It's the silence. It's the empty hallways. It's watching the days pass with no one to share them with. I met people who hadn't had a single visitor in years. Their children were busy, caught up in their own lives. Their friends had passed away. And no matter how kind and attentive the staff was, it was never the same as the warmth of family. There is a unique kind of pain in realizing that the world keeps moving forward without you. Sitting there listening to their stories, I couldn't help but reflect on my own life. I had spent so much time working, chasing success, believing that achievements would bring fulfillment. But in the end, what I truly needed, what we all need, is connection, the love of family, the bond of real friendships. If I could go back, I would spend less time worrying about work and more time strengthening the relationships that truly matter. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how much you earned, but how much love you shared. That is the greatest lesson I've learned. Life isn't about what you achieve, it's about who you share it with. The second lesson I learned is that health is the most precious thing in life. No amount of money can buy it back once it's gone. I once met a man who had everything most people dream of: wealth, luxury cars, a house so grand it looked like something out of a movie. He had traveled the world, dined in the finest restaurants, and lived what many would call a successful life. But now, he couldn't even lift a spoon to feed himself. He couldn't take a single step without help. His once powerful body had betrayed him, and all the wealth he had accumulated was useless in the face of his declining health. I sat beside him one evening as he stared out the window, his eyes filled with something deeper than sadness, regret. He told me, "I spent my whole life making money, but I never made time to take care of myself. And now I'd give everything just to be able to walk outside on my own." That moment shook me, because the truth is, we don't realize the value of health until we start to lose it. We push our bodies to the limit, promising ourselves we'll rest later, eat better later, start exercising later, until one day there is no later. If I could turn back time, I would do things differently. I would treat my body like the treasure it is. I would move more, eat better, stress less. Because at the end of the day, all the money in the world means nothing if you don't have the health to enjoy it. The third lesson I learned is that material possessions eventually lose their meaning. There was a time when I took pride in the things I owned. A beautiful house filled with elegant furniture, closets packed with clothes, shelves lined with souvenirs from my travels. Every item felt important, like a piece of my identity. I spent years collecting, decorating, and upgrading, believing these things added value to my life. But now, I live in a small room with just a few simple belongings, and the truth is, I barely even remember most of the things I once owned. The furniture, the clothes, the decorations, they're all gone, and yet life goes on. Because in the end, they never really mattered. What does matter are the memories I made, the moments I shared with the people I love. I don't miss the expensive furniture. I miss the laughter that once filled my home. I don't miss the souvenirs. I miss the conversations I had with the people I traveled with. Looking back, I wish I had spent less time accumulating things and more time creating unforgettable moments. Because the only things we truly take with us are the experiences we've had and the love we've shared. So if you have a choice between buying more things or making more memories, choose the memories. Because in the end, they're all that remain. The fourth lesson I learned is that independence is one of the greatest gifts we have, and we don't realize its value until it's gone. Think about your daily life. You wake up, get dressed, make your own decisions, eat when you're hungry, go where you want. It's something we all do without a second thought. But imagine waking up one day and needing help for everything, getting out of bed, putting on your clothes, even something as simple as holding a spoon. That is the reality for so many people in this nursing home. I've seen the frustration in their eyes, the silent pain of knowing they once lived freely, only to now depend on others for even the smallest tasks. If you can still move on your own, think clearly, and make choices for yourself. Don't take it for granted. Treasure every step you take, every meal you eat without help, every decision you make freely. Because once independence is lost, you realize just how precious it truly was. So while you still have it, protect it. Take care of your body, challenge your mind, and do everything you can to stay strong. Because one day, you may find yourself wishing for the very things you have right now. The fifth lesson I learned is that true happiness comes from the simplest things. In the nursing home, I met an 85-year-old woman who was always smiling. No matter the day, no matter the weather, she radiated a quiet joy that was rare to see. One afternoon, I couldn't help but ask, "What's your secret to being so happy?" She chuckled and said, "I don't think about what I've lost. I enjoy what I still have." Her words hit me like a revelation. So often we chase happiness in grand achievements, in bigger houses, better jobs, more money. We convince ourselves that once we reach a certain point, then we'll be happy. But this woman, who had outlived her friends, lost much of her independence, and lived with very little, was proof that happiness was never about what you have. It's about how you see what you have. From that moment on, I started noticing the little things. The warmth of a cup of tea in my hands, the comfort of a good conversation, the golden light of the sun streaming through the window. Happiness isn't something waiting in the future. It's hidden in the small moments we often overlook. So stop searching for happiness in distant places. Look around. It's been right there all along. The sixth lesson I learned is that forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. During my time in the nursing home, I met many people who carried grudges against their children, their friends, even those who had already passed away. They held on to anger, resentment, and old wounds that time had never healed. And you know what I noticed? The ones who refused to forgive were also the ones who suffered the most. One woman, with tears in her eyes, told me that she had spent years angry at her sister. They had a falling out over something she barely even remembered. And then, one day, her sister was gone, forever. She told me, "If I could go back, I wouldn't waste another second being angry, but now it's too late." Her regret haunted me. It made me realize that when we hold on to resentment, it doesn't hurt the other person. It only poisons our own hearts. We think we're punishing them, but in reality, we are the ones carrying the weight. That's why I choose to forgive. Not because they deserve it, but because I deserve peace. And when I finally let go of the resentment I had been holding on to for years, it felt like I had put down a heavy bag of stones that I didn't even realize I was carrying. So, if there's someone in your life you need to forgive, do it today. Not for them, but for yourself. Because when life comes to an end, pride means nothing, but peace means everything. The seventh and most profound lesson I learned is that every single day is a gift. One morning, I woke up to the news that a resident had passed away in his sleep. Just the night before, he had been sitting at dinner, laughing, sharing memories, enjoying life, completely unaware that it would be his last meal. And then, just like that, he was gone. That moment shook me to my core. It made me realize how fragile life truly is. We like to believe we have time, that we can always do things later, that there will be another chance to say, "I love you," to chase a dream, to make things right. But the truth is, none of us know how many mornings we have left, yet we waste so much time worrying about things that never happen, regretting things that cannot be changed, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. We say, "One day I'll travel. One day I'll spend more time with family. One day I'll do what truly makes me happy." But for so many people, that one day never arrives. The greatest lesson I've learned is this: live fully while you still can. Don't wait for the right moment to enjoy life. The right moment is now. Tell the people you love how much they mean to you. Create memories instead of postponing them. Wake up each day with gratitude, because when your time comes, you won't regret what you did. You'll only regret the moments you missed. Though I only spent 2 months in the nursing home, I learned a lifetime's worth of lessons. Life is not measured by how many years we live, but by how we live each moment. It's not just the big milestones that define us. It's the small, everyday choices we make. I've met people who have no regrets because they loved deeply, lived fully, and found peace within themselves. But I've also met those who lie awake at night, haunted by the things they didn't do, the words they didn't say, the chances they let slip away. And that is why I am no longer afraid of aging. I am only afraid of wasting time. If you're hearing these words, take them to heart. No matter where you are in life, don't wait until it's too late to appreciate what truly matters. Not the titles, not the possessions, but your health, the people you love, and the purpose that gives your life meaning. Because when time runs out, you won't long for more money or more things. You'll wish for more laughter, more love, and more moments that took your breath away. So don't wait. Live fully, love fiercely, be present. Because every single day is a gift, and once it's gone, you can never get it back.